Welcome. Today we're diving into a landmark book, To Sell as Human by Daniel H. Pink. And to really unlock its secrets, we're going to use a powerful framework developed by Aabid Ali Shahid, which will help us master the art of moving people ethically and effectively in the world we live in right now.
So let's just kick things off with a simple question. Do you think you're in sales? Now, for most of us, unless it's literally in our job title, the immediate answer is probably no, of course not. But what if I told you the research paints a very, very different picture?
Well, check this out. The data from Pink's book is actually staggering. A study found that a full 8 out of every 9 of us are deep into what he calls non-sales selling. That just means we spend a huge chunk of our day persuading, convincing, and influencing others. Think about it. It could be pitching a project to your boss, negotiating bedtime with your kids, or even just trying to get your friends to agree on a restaurant. We're all moving others, all the time.
So what's going on here? What changed to make basically all of us sellers? And, more importantly, why is this so critical to understand today? Let's unpack the what and the why of this new reality we're all navigating.
This right here, this is the single biggest reason for the change. You see, in the old days, the seller held all the cards. They had all the information, and that created a massive power imbalance. But now, the internet has completely flipped the script. Buyers have access to everything: reviews, price comparisons, competitor info, everything. The information isn't a secret weapon for one side anymore.
And that has caused this huge paradigm shift. We've literally gone from an era of caveat emptor, which means buyer beware, to caveat vendidor, seller beware, because buyers have just as much information, if not more. The old school high-pressure tactics just fall flat. The only things that work now are empathy, honesty, and total transparency.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this seller beware world, we need a map, a guide. And this is where a brilliant framework developed by Sir Aabid Ali Shahid comes into play. It organizes all these insights around 4 simple but powerful questions: what, how, why, and when. This framework gives us a crystal clear way to understand and, more importantly, apply these ideas.
So let's use the framework to tackle that first big question. How? How do we do this? What's actually in the modern persuader's toolkit? What are the skills we absolutely need to be effective and ethical today?
While Daniel Pink throws out the old sales playbook, forget always be closing, he gives us a new set of ABCs: attunement, buoyancy, and clarity. Let's start with attunement, which is really about the ability to get on the same wavelength as other people. And it stands on 3 key pillars: seeing things from their perspective, having emotional intelligence, and this fascinating idea called ambiversion.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because this shatters a huge myth. We've always been told that the best salespeople are these massive extroverts, right? The life of the party. Well, the research says, nope, that's wrong. The most successful people at moving others are actually ambiverts, the ones right in the middle. Why? Because they have a natural ability to balance talking and listening, and that is the absolute key to making a real connection. All right, so the next 2 skills in our toolkit are buoyancy and clarity. Buoyancy is all about resilience. It's your ability to stay afloat in what Pink calls an ocean of rejection and not let it get to you. And then you have clarity. This is so crucial. It's the skill of cutting through all the noise and confusion to help people see a problem they didn't even know they had, and then showing them a clear way forward. You need both to succeed today. Okay, so now we have the how: attunement, buoyancy, and clarity. Our framework now asks, when? When do you actually pull these tools out of the toolkit? Let's look at a couple of super practical ways to put these skills into action every single day.
Here's a really simple but incredibly powerful way to check yourself. Pink calls it the grandmother rule. And the idea is just this: treat every single person you're trying to move with the same respect, care, and honesty you'd show your own grandmother. It's a simple mental switch, but it automatically filters out any shady tactics and keeps you focused on genuine service.
And here's a fantastic example of putting emotional intelligence to work. A basic request like wash your hands might just get ignored, but when you recast it with a real purpose, like wash your hands to protect your family from illness, you're connecting to a much deeper motivation, and that is the difference between simply being heard and actually inspiring someone to act. And here is one last gut check. A simple but profound 2-question filter you can use before trying to persuade anyone. First, ask yourself, if this person does what I'm asking, will their life be genuinely better? And second, after we're done, will the world be a little bit better off? If you can't give an honest yes to both, it's probably a sign to stop and rethink your entire approach.
So let's bring this all home. Let's see how all of these powerful ideas from the book fit together so perfectly through the lens of the Aabid Ali Shahid's framework.
And here it is, the framework in full. It gives us a clear, memorable way to use these lessons in our own lives. So, what is selling today? It's simply about moving others ethically. How do we do it? With the new ABCs: attunement, buoyancy, and clarity. Why should we bother? Because this is how you build trust and real long-term success. And when do we use these skills? In every single conversation where you want to create genuine value.
At the end of the day, this is the ultimate message. The very definition has changed. To sell is no longer about trying to deceive someone. To sell is to connect.
So if you found this breakdown using the Aabid Ali Shahid framework helpful for understanding to sell as human, definitely let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear what you think, and if you'd like to see more explainers like this that take big ideas and make them clear and actionable. Thanks for joining me.